Hello everybody and welcome to this Alliance Wars video. Today we're going to be taking, we're going to have Team America taking on Hellz Ascendance. And with me, of course, as always, is my co-host Jeffrey. Say hello, Jeffrey.
Hey everybody, good to see you.
Alright. How are you feeling about this one, Jeffrey? Who do you think, who you putting your money on? You think Hellz Ascendance?
I've been thinking about this.
Or
Team America's got some pretty good players, right? Like that's Roboto and who else is on that team? Shoot, I don't really know a lot of the names, but I looked at the roster and I remember. Sorry, go ahead.
I was gonna say we have a bracket. We can go and check. If we go to this bracket page, maybe. Oh, it's not working.
We have some fancy things set up for this, yeah.
And then if I go to roster, we should be able to have a look. So we have. So Team America is. I can't read it, it's too small. It's not that small. It's alright on the stream. On the stream it's not too small. We got, so it's Atwell, Poundstown, which I believe is Mud Pusher. No, there's Poundstown and Mud Pusher. So we got Atwell, Do Brazil, CJC, Mud, Atwell. Again, he's listed like 3 times on here for some reason. Mad Mike, Machine, Boxcar. And then Ascendance, Hellz Ascendance we're looking at. Bucket, Alicia, Viper, Mavlet, Dark Blackhawk, Sky Frisia, Sebi, Bucket again.
Right.
And Keeper.
Yeah. Well, so going back to your question, I would say
some big names on both teams.
There's lots of good names. I really think it depends. Well, see, like these days, you know, the state of the game, it's hard to say who's still playing regularly, right? Because that matters a lot more than anything else. Of course, you look at a player like Alicia Destiny. She's on Hellz Ascendance. And you might go, okay, well, you got such a heavy hitter there, but she's not exactly the same caliber she used to be. She's still really good. Like, I mean, granted, I would be more than happy to have somebody like her on my team. But that said, it does bring her power level down a little bit. That said, I think when you look at the names on Hellz Ascendance, I got to give it to them a little bit because I don't know, like Keeper's really good, X-Real's really good, and Alicia's really good. I don't know about Sky Freezer. I think he's pretty good. I don't know how good, but he's pretty good, right? And then you look at Team America. I mean, well, okay, Mud is actually pretty good player. Atwell's pretty good. Skip Zero and Boxcar and CJC. I don't know. They don't seem like really strong names to me, but hey, you never know, right? So I think Hellz Ascendance is going to come out on top, but well, we'll find out.
Yeah, I'm gonna have to go with you on this one. I think we're gonna see a Hellz Ascendance victory. I think Keeper is very good, and I think Alicia's very good. And you only need 3 wins. I feel like both of those players are pretty likely to take it down.
Yeah.
So I'm gonna have to go with those 2. I think as my most likely. All right.
It looks like a good matchup though. So
I'm gonna just load up the first replay here. We are gonna have to very briefly do some technical issues to make sure Jeffrey can see the replay.
Yeah. Yeah, well, there's a certain way we got to do this to make sure it works well for both of us.
Yeah,
so.
okay. So I'm just gonna quickly take us over to here. And then we're gonna see, so we're gonna do this. And then
perfect.
Jeffrey, is it working out for you?
Yep, that's perfect. I can see it. Everything's right there, and that way it keeps the synchronization the same. So we'll make sure our casting works out better that way.
I think this is fine. I think I can have your camera up whilst I'm sharing my screen for you. So I think this is
should be able
fine. Okay, well, without any further ado, let's get into the first game. Keeper taking on Boxcar, game number 1. We are on Pillbox. Is that what it's called?
I think this is Pillbox. Yeah.
Yeah. I'm pretty sure this one's Pillbox. I personally do not like this map at all. I don't know how you feel about it, Jeffrey. It's not like one of my least favorite. Like, it's still better than basically all 2-pad maps, because 2-pad maps are terrible. But as 3-pad maps go, this one's pretty hateful. That like choke point coming out of your base is a real feels bad.
Especially for GDI, right? Like all the slow-moving units have a tough time getting across, and most of the flying units that GDI uses is like Talon and Orca, which thankfully Keeper has, but you really want a flying unit to get over those rocks, because you're right, the choke point is just brutal.
Yeah, I completely agree. Of course, both players playing GDI, so that's not going to be a huge issue here. In terms of decks, we've got a pretty aggressive Solomon deck from Keeper here against a reasonably slow APC deck. I personally think that Keeper's going to have a real hard time if the APCs start rolling. If this game goes late enough that we see multiple APCs, Keeper's going to really struggle. But if he can close it out before the first APC or as the first APC rolls out, then we should see a Keeper win.
All right, well, here we go. Game 1 of Alliance Wars featuring Hellz Ascendance versus Team America. Who's going to take this first missile? We got the strong arm turret come down pretty early there. The shock trooper's taking some damage, but looking like Keeper might take this. But the Pipple coming in, clears the Talon, takes that pad. It's going to leave the Pipple on there. And, well, with the missiles there and the shock troopers taking enough damage from that turret, there weren't enough models left over to clear the pads in time. So, well, missile number 1 goes to Boxcar.
Yeah, nice play from Boxcar there. I think a large part of this comes down to the fact that if you are GDI, you really don't want to go air against another GDI player because Pipple is so good. And that's exactly what we saw here. Pipple took down all the Talons, forced back the Orca. Boxcar won that first missile pretty much because he wasn't air and Keeper was. And you don't want to be air against GDI. Now that he's won that first missile, Boxcar, he's already got his first APC. I predicted that Keeper's going to struggle with these APCs. Now he's already got one out and he's won that first missile. I think Boxcar's going to win this game from here. That's my prediction.
Yeah, APC being so expensive, you want to be ahead on economy, and so having that first missile under your belt means you're going to get to max economy ramp really quickly. We're only 20 seconds away, and I have to agree with you, especially the interaction between the Ion Cannon and the APC, those missiles being left behind. It's a big ball breaker for this guy. So, yeah, we'll see how this plays out. Well, here we go. Missile number 2. We got the dogs on the far right. It looks like Boxcar's pretty comfortable. The Pitbull's not going to be able to get onto the pads at all, and Keeper's not going to have a Talon to get there in time. Hold on a minute. Can he make it? Can he make it? Oh, so close. Well, we didn't even see one Ion Cannon come out. Boxcar just closes it out. 2 missiles to none.
Wow, that was a savaging, man. Oh, hang on, Jeffrey's in the wrong place. My bad, my bad. That was a savaging, man. Like Jeffrey, sorry, not Jeffrey. Keeper just got demolished on that one. Got a lot of time to get back into it. Let's have a look at these decks. What do you make of these decks, Jeffrey? That's the same deck from Keeper, I think.
Well, you know, like, you think Buggy would be good here, and then laser drones aren't going to be great because, of course, there's just Pitbull. Pitbull is really good against laser drones, so that's really unfortunate. And no bikes from Boxcar. And he's using Seth on a 2-pad map. I don't really agree with this deck choice at all. I think Keeper's got a better choice. Like, 2-pad map with Solomon, like a good Solomon Ion going on at the right time, could be all he needs. And then, of course, the Orca could directly trade with the stealth tanks. So, I got to say, I think Keeper's a bit ahead here.
Yeah, I don't really know what was going through Boxcar's mind when he chose this deck. Maybe he was predicting something different from Keeper. Keeper brought exactly the same deck, and Boxcar could have done the same and been favored again. And this map is also pretty good for the APC deck. But instead, he's decided to go for a Nod deck. And I'm in favor of Nod. I think Nod is way better than GDI, but the reason Nod is so good is because of Bikes and Chuggy. Bikes and Chuggy. And he doesn't have either of those units, so... I don't like Boxcar's deck at all. As you said, the laser drones are going to be terrible. The only target for them is Pitbull, which crushes them. So yeah, not a big fan of Boxcar's deck here.
Okay, Boxcar responding with the stealth tank, coming with the lasers as well, clearing up the bottom pad. The Orca is going to sit there, though, and he can take an extra shot, almost going down. Talon coming in, but look at this. The stealth tank just gets on there in time. Buggy's going to clear up the Talon, now switching back over to Boxcar. Will the lasers survive long enough? No, they won't. Just by a sliver of time there. So close. Here we go. All right, we're going to continue on with this missile number 1. We got the Talon going down. Of course, missiles coming in behind, blocking the stealth tank out of the way. That's going to be a key tool here for Boxcar. He really needs to get at this Orca, but not having a good opportunity doing it. Now, Seth drill pod coming down, got the flames clearing up those missiles, very nice, and the stealth tank gets on there, no block from the shocks, and of course the Orca is not reloaded, so there it is. Missile number 1 again goes to Boxcar.
Very nice play from Boxcar there. Of course, if you are Seth, you expect to win first missile. Seth is incredibly strong at the end of a first missile.
Sure is.
Also, Keeper's deck does not really have any like big heavy units. Like what I'm saying here is a late game, normally like the later you go, more GDI is favored against Nod, because you tend to get into your like bigger, more expensive units, or you're playing free building deck and you unlock all your buildings. Keeper doesn't really have that. I mean, he has the free building aspect going on. Nod decks tend to be 2, GDI tend to be free building decks. But there isn't really any like powerful late game thing going on here for Keeper.
Ooh, look at that early Seth drill pod coming down on the bottom pad. Is it going to be enough? He does have it in position against those oncoming shocks. The Orca will, of course, last forever, but it doesn't matter. He's got that far right pad. The Ion Cannon is a little too late.
Solomon is not cheap.
Comes in again. Holy cow,
Solomon
2-0.
is not cheap.
Woo, wow. Yeah, I hope so, because, yeah, I mean, and there we go. All right, so we're seeing Kane come out now. That's great, and I think Nod is a far better choice. He's just not getting the job done with GDI, and he wasn't really using anything. Like, he doesn't have any heavy anti-infantry, which was holding him back very much. And here, he's got Venom, so that should help him out a lot.
Yeah, this is the Pathy G deck, which I've also been playing on ladder quite a bit. So it's basically it's very heavily reliant on Venom and Shade. That's like your game plan. And then
right.
you have, like, you open barracks as normal, you play Venom and Shade as your main game plan. And then you've got Bikes and Stealth Tank as mostly anti-air support, really. That's, like, the main thing they do, but you mostly play an air-based deck. I think this is a really good choice against what Boxcar is bringing as well. It would be a little weak if Boxcar was playing his APC GDI again. But since Boxcar brought the Nod, if you expect the Nod again, I think Keeper's deck is fantastic against this Nod deck. Shade is going to absolutely dominate here. The laser drones again are pretty useless for Boxcar. The Venom, even the Venom Shade is just really good. The only thing he's going to struggle with is Stealth Tank. I found this deck is a little weak to Stealth Tank because it's so reliant on air, but you do have Obelisk. And if you just Obelisk at the right time and knock out the Stealth Tank, it normally wins you the game.
Ooh, nice block with the Shade there, moving on the Hex where the Flames were trying to get there. But Boxcar again, taking the bottom right pad, and looks like Keeper's going to hold on just a little bit longer. These lasers are going to have to back off. So now here we go, the Shade and the Venom combined together. This is going to be enough, and we're going to see a switch here. Keeper's going to take missile number 1. Very nice.
Yeah, and you can see how, like, the Buggy is just getting absolutely dominated by Shade. Shade and Orca are, like, the worst enemies for Buggy. And Tank. Those units make Buggy so bad. If your opponent doesn't have any of those things, Buggy can be a really powerful unit. But if they have any of those things, it just completely shuts down the Buggy, makes it absolutely terrible. You can see, hey, this Boxcar finally got the Stealth Tank out, but takes a volley from the Shade there for no reason. And that thing costs 100. You can't lose that one. This Stealth Tank has to continuously kill Venoms if you want to win the game. And taking that hit there is really going to cost him.
Well, look at this low hit point stage, just getting some more value off, clearing one Flamer model there. Now the Venom actually seems to have a bit of liberty here. The Stealth Tank moving all the way to the top, taking an extra volley from those bikes. Really good move there from Keeper. And again, a nice advantage here for Keeper's deck. He's got these attack bikes, which are going to be extremely useful. Absorbing a volley there from the Stealth Tank, not so bad. He might be able to inch in with the Shade, but nice micro here from Boxcar to pull the Stealth Tank back.
Wow, that is just a I've won the game Obelisk right there. Like, doesn't really do anything,
yeah.
He's just putting it down for the sake of it. I mean, obviously it stops the Stealth Tank coming in, that's the reason to play it, but absolutely dominant performance there from Keeper. Not remotely close. And I mean, this matchup looks so much better for Keeper now. Like, in terms of decks, Keeper's deck just looks like... in the previous that weird aggro Solomon, not a fan really, but this deck is solid. This is a solid Nod deck. Nod is very strong, and I mean, I don't see how Boxcar could really ever win that matchup. I don't think he can bring that deck again, because that was... If Keeper plays the same deck, you're going to get crushed again. Alright, let's go check it out. So we do, in fact, see Solomon from... Sorry, Strong Arm from Boxcar. Right. Which means it probably is the same deck. Yeah, it's the APC deck again. I do think this is actually... He should be favored here. But I don't think it's like by a lot. Because Nod is so much better than GDI that even when the GDI deck is favored, it's not like a blowout. So I think Boxcar's in better shape than he was before, but whether or not this one's gonna be enough, I don't know. If he can start making a bunch of APCs, it's really hard for Keeper to deal with that. But there is always that Obelisk. The Obelisk shores up a lot of the weaknesses of this deck.
Right. Yep. That's its heavy hitter. So, well, and here we go. So Boxcar started out with Dogs moving into Shocks as his first tech switch, which is great. And this is a bit of a difference from the games we've seen before, where the Dogs are going to be an important tool against the opener. And here, Venom already switching right into air, not even going into War Factory first. We're not going to see Bikes, potentially not for this first missile. And Boxcar now going into Pitbull here. He's going to clear out that Venom. Got the Shocks on the bottom pad there. He's going to deal with the lasers, and it's actually going to switch over here to Boxcar just to install the missile a little bit longer. Now Shade coming out as well, and Shade is pretty good, and with that extra shot on the Pitbull, it should be able to clear it, but Boxcar just pulling it back. That lone Shock Trooper holding down the fort. But wait a minute, here we go, the Shock, oh, never mind! Boxcar doesn't get onto the far right pad in time, and that gives Keeper missile number 1.
Not well played from Boxcar there. I think where that really went wrong was he had a Shock and a Pitbull, and he had like 50 tib, and he made a dog, which was worthless. It couldn't fight anything on the board. If he'd made a second Pitbull there, I think he would have won the missile. Because a second Pitbull could have, like, he lost the top right pad to this Shade, which wouldn't kill a Pitbull. Like, a full health Pitbull survives a Shade volley. So he would never have lost that pad if that dog had been a Pitbull instead. And I think really what you want to be aiming for here if you're Boxcar in the early game, oh shit, here comes the Obelisk. He needs to run away from this thing. He could have retreated that APC, I think, and got it out of range of the Obelisk. But instead he's left it there, and he's lost a Pitbull and the APC now. That's really bad for him. What I was going to say is I think what he needed to do is get, like, Shock, Pitbull going. That's how he wins first missile. He has a Shock on each pad he wants to win, plus a Pitbull to protect him from Venom. That's how you win the first missile. And if you win the first missile, you start making APCs, you're going to be in good shape. The fact that he lost his first APC to that Obelisk, really bad for Boxcar.
Well, can Boxcar make a comeback here? He's got all 3 pads so far. The Pitbull on the far left could be a bit of a liability. These bikes are going to clear up the drones, but the second set of bikes gets onto that top left pad. Are they going to clear it? I think only 1 missile gets off, and the Pitbull's going to live, but doesn't really matter because Boxcar just makes bikes, and that gets him back and takes it down. Very nice.
Oh, that was rough.
We're going into Game 5, and what an exciting way to kick this off. So who's going to take this series? I mean, this is exactly what you want, right? You want to see matches go down to Game 5 because anybody can take it now. And are we back on Pillbox again? Well,
Looks
I guess
like
we
we're back
are. Okay.
on Pillbox, yeah.
I
think Kenny maybe said this was an error by the players. I don't think they're supposed to be playing on the same map twice.
That's right,
but obviously it happened, so it is what it is. We are, of course, now on match point. It is 2-2. We're back on the same matchup we had last time. I think, again, still think Boxcar should have the deck advantage, but, you know, it's Nod. So Nod is just way better than GDI. And if Nod kills you quickly, like Keeper did last game, he just took the first missile quickly, Obelisk the first APC, and that was it. It was all over. So that's, again, Keeper's going to be looking for a swift 2-0. If he loses a missile, he's going to have a really hard time coming back. The later it goes, the worse it gets for him. Oh, Boxcar going drones here instead of shocks. Huge no-no, in my opinion. That's a real bad decision. I don't see how he wins first missile now. Because he doesn't, like, I guess he's got shocks now. Maybe it's fine. Maybe the missile is late enough that he can go triple building, but...
I guess the drones are cheap enough, right? But
he can't afford pitbulls now. Like, that's so bad.
Well, Keeper now coming out with a Venom, and we got missiles coming from Boxcar. It's not really looking too good because, of course, the bikes are going to be able to block the missiles there. The shocks don't even push up, but hold on a minute. Can they get there in time? Never mind. Doesn't really matter because he's got all 3. Hold on. Whoa. Okay. That was crazy. I thought I was going to switch back and forth there, but nope. Keeper managed to hold on to it, and that gives him missile number 1.
Yeah, I'm not a fan of the drone swarm switch. The drones didn't get much done. Shocks would have been better. He just needs to play Shock Pitbull. Like, literally, Keeper. I played the deck Keeper is playing, the Paffy G deck. And it's really, like, Pitbull is a nightmare for it. It's one of the best units against it. Most of the time when people make Pitbulls, I have to combo a Shade and a Venom to kill Pitbulls. Which is like 100 Tiberium to kill a Pitbull. And then you have to keep them alive, because if you start losing them, you can't make those trades. You have to keep those units alive whilst you kill the Pitbulls. So, yeah, I think Boxcar not just going Shock Pitbull at the start. He doesn't even need Drone Swarm. Like, Drone Swarm's not even good in this matchup. He just wants to go Shock Pitbull into APCs. That's it.
Ooh, another tower coming down. It's going to shoot which? Probably the APC, but hold on a minute. Oh, yeah, actually, well, with a sliver of health left, it didn't really get a lot of value there. The missiles pop out, but Keeper looking great because he's got excellent positioning here. The attack bikes move on to the far left pad. The Pitbull coming in from behind. We've got the Venom coming up onto the middle pad as well. A double Venom, in fact, which should be able to clear up. We've got the turret coming down, but wait a minute. Oh, that was close. Nice snipe by the Obelisk. Wins him the game and the series. Well done to Keeper.
So here we go, game number 1. Gonna have Alicia Destiny taking on Atwell. So we are seeing Jackson from Alicia versus Oksana Atwell. I do like Nod more than GDI. Let's take a look at these decks. So we've got... So Atwell's playing a weird Inferno deck that looks like it's just a slightly worse version of Inferno Chuggy. Because you've got wheels instead of rifles, which is probably slightly better. Then you've got flamers instead of Chuggy, which is just much worse. Like, flamers are way worse than Chuggy.
No kidding.
And then Alicia she is playing an Alicia style deck, no missiles, one infantry for killing infantry. This looks exactly like her normal decks, except that she's not playing tanks, she's playing MLRS for some reason.
Yeah, that's bizarre.
Not sure what's up with that. Maybe she just thinks MLRS is better right now. I don't know.
Yeah, I mean, I'm not too sure what to make of this matchup either. Like, we have, you know, we got Hammerhead and Borka on one side, but also Inferno and Phantom. And Inferno Phantom is better than Borka and Hammerhead, so that's a bit of a win there. Yeah. The MLRS, I guess, will be a good tool against the bikes. I don't really see it doing much.
The MLRS isn't going to be great.
Like, Pitbull's going to be the star, right? But anyways, let's see who's going to take this first missile here. So, all right, Atwell actually might be taking it, but never mind. Of course, Alicia clears up the board, and, well, there it is. Alicia very comfortably takes that first missile.
Atwell kind of getting clapped there on the pop cap, like he had a bunch of low hit point units. But the real problem here is just that Atwell's deck is terrible against Pitbull. Like, his deck is just trash versus Pitbull. Like, if you play Inferno, if you play Chuggy, which is the normal build of this deck, Chuggy Laser beats Pitbulls. So that deck can beat Pitbull without getting to Inferno. Atwell's current deck just loses to Pitbull until he gets to Inferno. And even after he gets to Inferno, it's not great for him. Like, Pitbull is still a bit of a problem. So I think Alicia's deck just kind of dumps on him because, like, Pitbull just beats his deck. Like, his deck is just bad versus GDI, in my opinion.
Yep, that's exactly right. I mean, Inferno, you'd think would be really good against Pitbull, but a well-played Pitbull will take down Infernos, and then she's got snipers to back that up, which are going to shut down lasers, and that is a key tool for Atwell. He's going to need those lasers in order to clear up the MLRS, the Pitbulls, and as soon as Alicia gets set up like she is right now, I mean, Atwell really needs those Infernos to push back, and look at how far away he is from it. It's just not going to happen, and
yeah,
here we are,
this
we're
game
already
was,
coming to missile number 2, so...
This game was just Atwell making bikes and dying to Pitbulls. That was the entire game.
Yeah, basically.
Like,
so
Atwell just made bikes and couldn't beat Pitbulls, and that was the whole game. Like,
yeah.
I don't know what to say, man. That's like his deck couldn't beat Pitbull. Like, yep, let's do it. Let's have a look.
Okay, well, we see Atwell switching over to an odd way like that. That's going to be potentially a good thing for him. We'll see what kind of a deck he's got to play here, though. Tank and Shade. Well, that's interesting. I guess the Shade is going to be... I guess it's a good thing he's got that for the Giga, which I don't know what Alicia does here. Like, she's probably just going to play Giga for the first part of the game, and I don't even know if she'll ever get to Inferno. Like, does she really even need it? I don't think so.
It's just classic Alicia deck again, but again, for some reason, she's playing Giga instead of Tank. I don't know why. Right. I guess she just felt like playing 2-range units. This is a pretty bad map for a 2-range unit as well. Pretty sure the players know the map before they start, so... Yeah, kind of surprised to see Giga. Like, the Tank deck would just be... Her tank, like this deck with Tank is like her favorite deck, and it would be way better on this map. So I'm a little surprised to see Giga, but I guess we'll see.
Okay, so far it's looking fairly even. The bike exchanges have been pretty close. We got Atwell now getting a double volley off here. First volley coming off, and then that single bike getting a volley off. But close to Alicia's base, there's a bit of an issue because, of course, that means Alicia's going to gain a little bit more value. Now she's got those wheels on the top pad. That single bike, or sorry, the wheels from Atwell there blocking. But we got a tank on the far right, and of course, the spread out map makes it very difficult to compete for all 3 pads, especially for their first missile. So Atwell here is not really going to be able to make it on the pads after that, and the wheels just fell short. So missile number 1 goes to Alicia.
Yeah, I think he might have had it if he hadn't missed the block. It was close. Oh, here comes the Giga. Oh, Giga's so disgusting. Okay, yeah, seems like a reasonable unit.
Look at that! That was disgusting. Wow.
I think if Atwell had got the block with the wheels on the top, he might have had a chance.
Oh, look at
his
this.
tank was like a hair too late because he needed to... Oh god, at least he's going for the Giga base kill. I don't know if Atwell can deal with this. He needs to tech switch, but it might be too late. Even with a tech switch, I think he's dead.
No, she's camping the spawn point, right? So anything he builds, the Giga's going to immediately target. It's fully charged.
Well, you got to make lasers because at least lasers by time. But yeah, it looks like it's over. That was savage. That was absolutely brutal.
Oh, Alicia bringing down the fire. Wow, that was pretty one-sided, I have to say.
If Alicia wins this one, she is going to take the series. Let's have a look at the decks this time around. We're back on GDI for Alicia.
Okay.
All right. Jackson Mirror.
Oh, and Rorschach as well. So she's brought that MLRS, and she has, well... I mean, we see working from Atwell, but...
what looks like a Solomon aggro deck without Solomon.
Yes, it does look that way.
Yo, thank you for the sub, CJ. Yeah, I mean... I don't know. I mean, I don't know if this deck would be like better with Solomon. He'd be obviously like Solomon would help in this matchup, having the ability to kill the MLRS. These pads are pretty close together. You could probably get a few units with a Solomon. It'd be useful. But you've also got this Orca. Orca's quite expensive. It's difficult to make it to Orca if you're Solomoning, or the other way around. If you're Orcaing, it's hard to Solomon. So looks like we're going to start off with a nice little Pitbull mirror. Alicia is very well known for being super aggressive, so she is going to push on this Harvester here.
Oh,
classic
with
Alicia
the boost as well.
Like mad aggressive.
And I think she's going to get the Harvester kill too.
Strongly consider just failing on this Harvester. Like, it's obviously dead. Just go put your units on the pads and win the missile. Wow, he's going to go for her Harvester instead. I mean, he could have traded his Harvester for the missile, but now he's just trading his Harvester for nothing, which I'm not a big fan of that play. I think trading your Harvester for nothing is not great.
I mean, I guess, like, even for Alicia, if she loses the Harvester, which she just did, it's not really going to do much because, for one thing, Alicia's just really efficient with her units anyways, and, you know, she'll make sure to maintain the value out of them. And here we go. So, okay, I will making a bit of a push here. Orca clearing out that Pitbull. This MLRS is a bit in a precarious situation, but, you know, Alicia, of course, is going to respond very quickly. The Orca's about to go down. It's not even going to get a full volley off here. Almost, but not quite. Nice pullback from Alicia there on that MLRS. Ooh, double dog as well. Adwell really trying to use these dogs and trying to use their beefy hit points, but it just hasn't been working out. I mean, Alicia has always just been in a good position to make sure that they're cleared in time, as we saw there in the first missile. Adwell trying to push the dogs onto that far left pad and just hold it. Didn't really work out too well. This MLRS now getting onto the pads as well. This is a good position for it. Of course, here on a 3-pad map where they're so close together, the MLRS will get really good value, and it's really tough here. Adwell really needs to try and clear it up with an Orca, but we got double pitbull on that middle pad. The Orca is going to clear one of them. The snipers will hold on for just a little bit longer. There's only 2 models though, so they're not going to, but it doesn't really matter. The Orca went down to the double pitbull, and that is game.
This spot at the end, you can see like how Solomon would be useful.
Yeah,
I'm not saying you should
sure.
play Solomon. I don't think Solomon is great or anything. I'm just saying like that style of deck looks like it should, like it maybe wants a Solomon.
Yeah. Oh, he's on the left as well. I don't know. I think you always want to be on the right, don't you?
Yeah, being on the right is way better for sure.
Yeah.
Now I'm not so sure. Now I think maybe Skyfrizz is going to win this one.
Right.
So Skyfrizz is playing
decks,
an
though.
Alicia style deck, except that instead of the Inferno, he's got laser drone. I'm not sure how I feel about that one. CJ also with the laser drones. Those of you who watch my channel regularly will know my opinion on laser drones and those who play them. So yeah, not super hyped to see laser drones. Also, laser drones got like a pretty big nerf, and they were like not amazing. They were like annoying as hell, but not like really good before the nerf. And then they got nerfed. So
Right.
I don't know, man. Not a fan. Not a fan. It is a nod mirror though. Laser drones tend to be quite good in nod mirrors, so maybe we'll see something from them.
Yeah, for sure. And well, Seth Drillplot as well, right? That will definitely help out with Skyfreezer on this first missiles. We see now actually a Chem Buggy coming out, which is going to be a big problem, but he's got the wheels there to block, which should hold on just long enough. And really nice. Oh, but the Chuggy does get on there. Absolutely savage there for Skyfreezers. That Chuggy is just cleaning things up. And now the laser's sitting behind. Of course, they're going to hold against that tank. With all 3, although there's 3 clouds on that pad, that's a big problem. The lasers aren't going to last for too much longer. So these laser drones actually going to be pretty important here. As Skyfreezer is not quite there with his pop cap. Now he's going to build bikes. Here we go. So bikes coming out, and this is going to be a very important tool. Of course, the laser drones are a defender's position, but the bikes do get a volley off. However, he is sitting them against the laser drone. Second set now coming out as well, and that tank so low hit points just could not get onto that far left pad. So I don't know. I think CJC might take this. Those flames are eventually going to die. There we go. And they were just not going to hold off long enough. And now we got the lasers coming on that far hex. There it is. CJC taking down missile number 1. And you know what? Those laser drones actually did some work.
Yeah, the laser drone's coming in big there. They basically wanted the missile. Normally, if you're playing like a Chuggy laser thing, you just lose first missile to Scorpion Tank.
Right.
You have to have something that can kill Scorpion Tank afterwards. CJ has both Obelisk and Laser Drone for this duty. Laser Drone obviously able to be made on that first missile was definitely a big deal. I mean, this deck is the same. This is the Inferno Chuggy deck with Laser Drones instead of Inferno. So you can respond to tanks earlier. The problem is that your deck is just significantly less powerful without the Inferno, so you need to close the game out faster. Oh, I don't know about this aggressive move with the laser drones. I feel like CJ was in good defensive spot there. Maybe he was trying to bait the tank into Obelisk it. If that was the play, it was very nice. Because the tank did push in and he did get to Obelisk it. So if that was his thinking, that was very strong.
Ooh, all right, double bikes trying to make it onto that middle pad. The Obelisk won't be able to clear them super quick. And a drill pod now coming up for the first time on the left pad. Very nice. As it does, it's going to delete those lasers, and that should be enough for Skyfreezer to take missile number 2. So there it is.
Yeah, huge misclick from CJ there. You saw his lasers that were meant to go the middle, walked back 2 full tiles before he grabbed them and sent them forward again. That's probably what cost him the missile. The Ceph was always going to be a big issue as well, but yeah, those lasers going walkabout meant that he lost the Chuggy in the top and didn't kill the bikes in time. Super rough.
You know, a big problem here is that CJ has all the tools he needs to shut down flames and wheels. So as far as infantry goes, CJ's got far more value out of his own lasers, which is what Skyfreezer doesn't even have lasers. And so that's the thing. Chuggy laser here is just so strong.
Yeah. Chuggy laser is really good. Tank counters it, and that's when the laser drones come in. I do feel like, you know, if he had the ability to make Inferno here, he wouldn't be able to lose, but he would have lost the first missile if he had Inferno, and then maybe he'd just be dead now, so...
Now, I wonder what Skyfreezer's game plan here is. He's got a lot of money, and he hasn't really been doing a whole lot. It almost looked like he put the phone down and stopped playing for a bit, but that's not good, because here we're coming into missile number 3. He does have that first missile, so if he takes this, he'll take game number 1, but here we go. Can he make it? This Phantom coming out, clearing out the laser drones, got the flames on the far right as well. Chuggy in the middle pad, Cephalopods coming down once again, but Chuggy is there to stop it in its tracks, and those flames get on there, but they are taking some extra damage from the cloud, which means that even with the laser drones, might be enough, but the laser drones inch toward the Phantom getting an extra volley there, and now with laser drones coming out in numbers. The stealth tank, will it be enough? It's going to clear out those laser drones as well. It's flipping the missile over. Once again, so close. Almost went over to Sky Freezer, but here we go. Nice turnaround from CJC. The laser drones are going to survive long enough, and there it is. CJC taking missile number 3. What a great game that was.
Very close game there. We are 1-0 to CJ here. CJ, of course, fighting not only for his own glory, but for the life of his teammates.
That's right.
Who are
yeah,
down
you're right.
2-0. If CJ loses this match, it is going to be a Hellz Ascendance 3-0 sweep.
Oh, look at this. CJ playing the Grenadier Razorback Mohawk deck. I believe Ensorger plays this a lot. I've seen it actually in action, and it's not bad, although I have to think it's not a lot worse, but it's somewhat worse than the Predator Shock deck, just because Razorback can get countered by Stealth Tank. However, we don't have that in this case. That said, though, Phantom does one-shot the Razorback, not the Mohawk, though, so that is kind of important.
Not a massive fan of this choice of deck from CJ. As a lot of you will know, my feelings on Grens are that they are terrible. Gren Razorback is okay, but it gets really demolished by Phantom. Like, Phantom one-shots the Razorback. It's almost impossible to stop the Phantom from catching the Razorback. I find that Razorback decks tend to really counter... Phantom decks tend to really counter Razorback. And CJ, I mean, if CJ's expecting Skyfrizz to bring the same deck, then he knows there's a Phantom. Maybe he's expecting to change since he lost, I don't know.
Okay, well, this Razorback doing a little bit of work here, clearing up those flames with the missiles to come in behind, and that's pretty much where he's going to be for this first missile. But that Razorback now going down, he has enough money to rebuild it, but these Flamers getting some extra value on the missiles. He's got enough time to build those wheels and get onto the middle pads, so there we go. But the Razorback here just coming up in time. Can the missiles make it on the far left? Oh, it's going to be close, but there they go. The Razorback now on the middle pad as well. These bikes not really getting a whole lot of value. Skyfreezer not responding quickly enough. He can't really get to that Phantom quickly, so these bikes are going to have to pull the job through. And that Mohawk with the boost just absolutely demolishes those wheels there, so they clear them up in time. And now CJ making a really good push for this middle pad here. This Mohawk is going to be a great tool against these bikes. Of course, got lots of hit points, so the bikes are going to take a few volleys to clear it out. And in the meantime, that Mohawk only costs 50, and here it is, getting some really nice value against that. But that said, these flames are actually providing a bit of a problem for CJ. He has to use Razorback to clear it out. That's all he's got. He only has Rifleman otherwise. That's not going to be enough. So now the middle pad going really far back and forth. These double bike volleys coming down. All Skyfreezer really has to do is try and get positional advantage, and he's almost there. There it is, clearing out that lone missile. Now the Mohawk's not going to make it in time. Skyfreezer takes missile number 1.
Yeah, I think Skyfreezer's on like bike number 750 at this point.
Right.
Classic nod player. Like, you're in trouble, you just make bikes. You just make bikes, then you 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 make bikes. And it wins.
And look at the economy difference.
He won again. He won the missile. Like, you just make bikes, it beats almost everything. The problem was CJ never had enough money to get the Grens, which if he gets the Grens, like, Gren lives long enough for the Razorback to actually kill the flames. Because the problem was that every time he made a Razorback, it was like he was losing the missiles while trying to kill the flamers, and that was a big problem for him. I think CJ, I feel like he should have been favored on that first missile with this matchup, but Razorback just isn't that good anymore. So he ended up losing the first missile because GDI just sucks. That's basically what happened. GDI sucks, Nod rules. Yep. So he lost the first missile because Nod is way better.
Yeah,
now
like,
there's a Phantom out. That's an absolute nightmare for CJ. CJ cannot kill Flamers with anything except Razorback, and Phantom is very, very good against him. So I think he's going to really struggle from here.
Yeah, like Flame Phantom, how do you beat that, right? Like, he's got Pitbull here, but then, of course, Skyfreezer's got tanks. And you know what? Like, Skyfreezer's got a really good answer for just about everything that CJ's bringing here. So here comes another Seth Tropod. We're getting really close to this missile. So the Phantom going over to the far left, not in a good spot because there's double missile there. But the Flames are on that middle pad. We got the Flames coming up the missiles there. The Razorback is going to live for just a little bit longer, but it's so low health that one more volley from those bikes, it goes down. So now Skyfreezer moving him up, gets a volley off. That Razorback's gone, but he's got another one coming in from behind, but nice Harvester pulled as well, as it was just clearing that tip field and moving up to the top. He decided to pull onto the pad. A very good move there. But now we're going to try and clear all 3 pads here so that those Flames are just holding on against the Mohawk, and the Razorback with his lower DPS just can't get the job done. And there it is. Game goes to Skyfreezer.
Let's get into
It is
game
amazing
3.
how much we figured out, though.
We're at 1-1, and we're seeing faction reversal. We're going to see CJ taking Nod again, and Frisia now playing the Razorback deck.
Kane is so good here. Oh, what a nice choice.
Kane is very good, and Kane is good in the matchup as well because of Predator Tank.
Yes.
I feel like Frisia is favored though because, well, actually, the thing is, Shock Tank counters Mutant Laser pretty hard, but he's not playing shocks, he's playing rifles, so that makes it a little bit harder.
Yes,
he has
true.
the Razorback as well, though. Razorback is really good against Chuggy Laser because it gives you a way to kill lasers without dying to Chuggy. And then he also has the tank that's good against Chuggy. I think Frizz's deck is very good against CJ's here. I think I'd say Frizz is favored.
Well, we'll see how this plays out. CJ coming out with bikes and Chuggy. Open War Factory first, not even going into his opening. He's just going straight for bikes. I mean, hey, you know what? Best unit in the game. Might as well start off that way, right?
Right?
So here we go. And here we come in the middle pad. The Chuggy getting some good value, but the Predator tank there, it's going to clear it in one more shot. Of course, the Predator tank has so much hit points. It's going to last for a long time. And that low hit point Chuggy could be a problem. I think the missile going to clear, but we're going to see some nice micro, but no. Boosted missiles clear it out. Very nice play from Sky Freezer there just to get on there. Now he's on the pad. Can he block the Chuggy from getting there on time? Should last long enough. And there it is. Really well played by Sky Freezer. Gives him missile number 1.
CJ with a bit of a throw there. He had the block and he moved the bikes back. I think he was trying to get cute with it to take less damage, but he ended up letting the missiles on, and that's what lost him the missile.
Yeah,
so,
right.
I think the moral of the story there is just let the bikes die and make sure you win the missile. That's a fine exchange. I also think that again with these obelisk decks, it is the same as before. Like you need to win first missile, then obelisk their tank and win second missile. If you go to third missile, it's really bad for you. So losing first missile really sucks for CJ here, and I think he's in really bad shape now.
Well, so far he's got position here. He might be able to take the second missile, but like you said, if he goes to a third missile, that could spell disaster. As really, I mean, he does need these towers, and here it comes the first one. It's going to try and target the tank, but he's moving it back far enough that actually doesn't. Really good play there from Sky Freezer, but that said, he's not pushing for the pads. Borka coming out as well. Is he going to clear this bottom pad in time to flip it over? It looks like he will. Of course, the Borka doesn't do a ton of damage, but it does just enough. Now getting up to the top pad, but the lasers are going to be able to clear in a reasonable amount of time. Of course, bikes are there to stop it, and well, this is going to be CJ's missile for sure.
Yeah, see, this is what I'm talking about right here. If he'd won the first missile with the block, that obelisk buys him enough time against the Predator to win missile 2. The game is just over. You don't have to worry about it. But you really don't want to go to missile 3. He can maybe do the same thing again. If he gets a good tempo obelisk right near the end of the missile, clears out a Predator, then he can win with Chuggy. Because like Chuggy plus bikes will beat everything Frizzer has except Predator tank. I mean, maybe not Borka, but let's be real. We just saw the Borka get crushed by bikes and lasers, so I think he probably can. I think bikes and Chuggy will beat everything Sky Freezer has except for Predator tank. So if he can get a nicely timed obelisk to clean up a Predator, I think he's in good shape. Although we're not seeing a Predator from Sky Freezer here, which is insanity. He's trying to counter Chuggies with missiles. What's he doing?
Yeah, I don't understand this play at all. I mean, of course, Razorback and Missile is a decent combined arm, but not against Chuggy Laser. All right, so now he's making a good push.
The obelisk right in time to hold off the Preds, and that's going to be CG, I think.
He's got two
CJ's
tanks,
not on this bottom pad for some reason. What's going on here?
Oh, hold on a minute. So we got the laser drones coming in hot. We got the stealth tank coming in. It's going to clear up that Razorback. And now all CJ has to do is get the blocks. And oh, the riflemen get onto the pad. Oh, savage for Sky Freezer. He's going to hold that top pad as well. And there it is. Really, really back and forth game. But my goodness, CJ comes in clutch with that obelisk here.
We're at match point. If CJ can win this one, he can keep his team in it. If he loses it, then he still has another game. But yeah, it's definitely tough for Team America here.
Oh, and we're on Rorschach. I love this map. You don't get to see it a lot, but look at this. Oh, no Harv MG from Sky Freezer. Oh boy. Okay.
Oh, you hate to see it.
But it's against Inferno, so CJ has.
CJ switched. He switched the laser drone to Inferno. Great choice. Great choice.
Oh,
I think this deck is way better. I also think like the last matchup, which even though CJ won it, I think if you have the Inferno, you're so much better off. Because once you get to the mid game, you don't lose to Predators anymore if you have that Inferno. So now we get to see if CJ knows how to beat No Harv MG. Because Inferno hard counters this deck. If you have an Inferno, you should really win this matchup. But only if you play it correctly. So it's really important not to waste too much on the first missile, which I think we're seeing here. He's only made like 2 10-cost units. He's going straight into Inferno. Big fan of this. What we need to see from CJ is Inferno into Laser. Use the Inferno to kill the MG. If the Pitbull gets in the way, you bomb it and you just wait. That's fine. Like this Pitbull moving up, just bomb the Pitbull and then boost, and you'll be able to kill the MG, no problem. Sky Freezer does have Slingshot. This could be an issue for CJ. CJ needs to get this kill on the MG.
Oh,
yeah,
just about.
That's not good. Don't want to bomb the dogs there. I think he had a chance to bomb the Pitbull here, and he didn't take it, and I think that would have been a good bomb. Because No Harv MG doesn't have any money. Like, they can't afford to make infinite Pitbulls. If you bomb a Pitbull, that's actually a pretty big deal for them.
Oh, it's huge. Yeah, the pit bulls are very expensive. It's like losing a Giga Cannon or even like a stealth tank or something. It's just a big deal.
Yeah.
So, and yeah, he kind of inched back there. And look at this. I mean, Sky Freezer, wow, he might actually just take this. I can't believe it. I mean, the Inferno is the hard counter, but well, yeah, CJ was just playing too passively. He needed to push up. And you're right. If he had taken down that pit bull, all he needs to do, he gains more map position from there, pushes the Inferno up, and it's in a position there where if he boosts it, it'll reload quickly, even though the slingshot was coming in behind pretty quickly. I think he was still in a really good position to push the slingshot back, but on top of that, it would have at least hit the MGs, right? And that's what he needed to do. As soon as he does that, I don't see how he loses, but he just didn't pull that off. So I guess he doesn't know how to beat No Harm MG. That's unfortunate.
The slingshot is rough. The slingshot makes it way harder because the slingshot can stop you pushing in with the Inferno. But I think what you need to do in this spot, because the Inferno is so good in the matchup, once you get the Inferno out, you're just looking to get value out of it over and over. So like definitely a pit bull is like easily worth it. I would even bomb missile troopers. Like I just don't want to bomb dogs. I'll bomb pretty much anything else from their deck. You can boost to get more bombs and so on. It's just a good idea, man, to get as much value as possible out of that Inferno. Final game. CJ needs to win this one to keep his team alive.
Yeah, there's a lot on the line here. I mean, especially if this is in the lower bracket, which I'm not sure. I'll have to take a look, but this could be potentially it for Team America, so we'll have to find out. But all right, we're on Battlefield, and I like this. Okay, so CJ's brought Giga Cannon. I mean, yeah, Sky Freezer does have Orca, which is going to be pretty important. He's got Slingshot to deal with the Shades, but a Shade is so good against the Slingshot. I really feel like CJ, again, has brought a great deck for this matchup.
Yeah, he hasn't got laser. I think that when your like tournament life is on the line, it's super risky to bring a deck like this. Like no laser is no laser is rough, man. I hate no laser decks because you get into spots like this.
Oh, you can fall behind easily.
Especially when you're like a Giga deck and your Giga is so powerful and so good in the matchup and on the map. I don't think like he has the Shade instead of the lasers. I don't think he needs the Shade, you know? Like, just play play a normal Giga Cannon deck, maybe Giga Chuggy, make a Giga Cannon, put it in the middle. That beats most decks in the game.
I'm surprised he went Flames here. I really feel like he should just go straight into Giga with bikes.
Yeah,
I mean, why
agree
not?
with that. Yeah, I agree. I think he should have gone straight into Giga. Like, the Giga counters the Pitbulls, which something he's having a problem with, and it also counters missiles because it's broken. So, yeah. I think I would have just also... I agree, I would have just gone straight into the Giga if I was him.
Okay, well, can Bike Flame get the job done? These snipers are going to be pushing them back. The Pitbull and the missiles now clearing up the bikes up on the top, but the Flames make it back up there. These two sniper models really aren't going to be too threatening, but we got snipers coming in hot here from the right. Are they going to clear up the Flames? He moves off the pad. What is he doing? Trying to counter the snipers instead of pulling them back. I guess it doesn't matter too much, but now timing is not on his side. The bottom pad is cleared, giving Sky Freezer an inch here. He's going to take it, of course. He's going to try and make his way back in, but this little sniper here trying to hold on for dear life. Doesn't matter, though. Now, finally, CJ takes the bottom pad. Didn't get the block there on the Pitbull, and there it is. CJ now finally taking missile number 1.
Yeah, I didn't like the push into the sniper. Like, he killed them, but he had the missile if he didn't do that, right? Like, it's guaranteed.
Right? Yeah,
and it bought Sky Freezer a lot of time. Sky Freezer had a lot of money there and just wasn't really making stuff. I don't know if he just, like, didn't know what to do, but I feel like just making a bunch of Pitbulls would have been great.
Yeah, totally. Yeah, I mean, against Flamer Bike, that's kind of where you want to be. And there's no lasers to punish that, so,
exactly.
So for sure.
Exactly. There's like very little that CJ could have done about mass Pitbulls, especially after he went into barracks instead of just making a Giga. See, like, look at this spot here. All CJ wants to do is make a Phantom, right? And then he's like in pretty good shape. This Shade is just not very useful. Even like having a couple of lasers in front of this Giga would be so good for CJ right now.
Oh, nice boost on the Phantom, clearing that first Orca, and he's going to try and get the block.
Okay,
hold on a minute. Oh, very nice. That boost was
playing with
everything.
fire, my dude. Playing with fire.
Just a little bit. But hey, it might work out. All right, CJ's all on the line here. Of course, if he wins this next missile, that's going to be it. And this Giga is in a pretty decent spot. Not exactly where he wants it to be.
Iron
Cannon!
Ooh, good dodge, though. Good dodge.
Gets it out of the way. Very nice. Not losing the Phantom either. Good micro, but of course,
yeah, only lost the Flamers there.
Oh, can they clear the snipers in time? And look at this. It looks like that's the case. And all right, CJ, nice comeback, winning missile number 2 and winning the series.
And that, I believe, keeps Team America alive. It's 2-1.
It does. What a sweat
and I have
fest
some
that
bad
was, though.
news for you, chat. now that Team America is still alive, Kenny needs to go and find the replays because there isn't a fourth match in the alliance.
See that.
Kenny seems to have no way to recover any replays.
Oh, all right.
So I don't think we can do the next match. I mean, I guess we can. Spoiler alert! I'm pretty sure Hellz Ascendance won.
I suppose. Yeah. We. Oh wait. Do we even have that? Do we have that somewhere? I don't know if they've.
I honestly don't know. I honestly don't know if we have that. We have a bracket that has results on it. Yeah, Hellz were the winners. I believe that Xril defeated his opponent, whoever he was playing.
Okay. All right.
So I think that's what happened, but apparently he didn't save the replays. I don't know why. I don't know if they were told to save replays and didn't, or if Kenny was like, "Don't worry about it, I'll share it," or what.
Oh, okay. Well, you know, sometimes that happens, right? A little too bad, but overall, we got two pretty solid series out of it. Those were some actually pretty great games. Of course, the Alicia versus Atwell games were a little bit one-sided, but it does go to show, like, how good she still is, right? Like, she's still got fangs, right? Like, she's pretty talented. So, but overall, I guess it was good. I hope everybody enjoyed it regardless, and it's a little too bad we can't show the rest of the games, but yeah, no, I'm sure next week we'll hopefully have that resolved.
Yeah, so of course, thank you everyone for hanging out in the Alliance Wars stream, the first one on my channel. Of course, if you want more Alliance Wars, you can also check out Entsorger's YouTube. He's also going to have Alliance Wars games. And yeah, thank you to Kenny, thank you to Jeffrey for co-casting, thank you to Viper for all of our amazing graphics. Also, if you want to give us money, that would be great, because our PayPal fees are going to be expensive.
Oh, right. Yeah,
you can use the same.
True,
you can use
actually,
the Legion donation links, because Legion's basically running this. It's Kenny and Tommy, so me and Sober are casting, and Jeffrey, so it's basically a Legion event. So thank you everyone for that. We're going to take a quick look at the bracket before we head out, if it loads. So here's the bracket. Maybe it'll load. Who knows? There we go. There's the bracket. So take a quick look at the bracket. Here you can see we've had week 4 apparently already played. Oh, sorry, week 4 is to come. What's week 3? Is week 3 the first loser bracket? Or is
so week 3 was just the losers bracket. Yeah, that's right. The winners had a week off.
Sure. So here you can see where people are at. We've got some big names. There's USA Strong down in the loser bracket. Terminus Shores. Terminus Shores team does not have most of the good Terminus Shores players. I think a lot of the good Terminus Shores players didn't want to play a tournament, so yeah. We've got Odin's Misfits here. Best team ever. I don't know who's in best team ever. We've got Hellz, who we know who have advanced. Dutch team is going to be Dutch Elite. Wolfpack, that's of course going to have Serpus. Best teams in this, probably, like, from a quick glance, I'm guessing Wolfpack's going to have some very good players. Dutch team's going to have some good players. Odin's Misfits going to have great players. That's going to be one of the best teams for sure. Hellz, of course, has Alicia and the other people we just saw.
Xril and
Keeper's really good.
Keeper's great. Yeah, that's a pretty stacked team for sure. Yeah.
Those are the best teams in my opinion.
I mean, who takes it all? Do you think, Blade? Who do you think is going to win this all the way to the end?
It's actually kind of tough. I think the top 2 is Wolfpack and Odin's. Wolfpack has Serpus. Wolfpack has Serpus and Paflagon too, who are 2 of the best players in the game right now. Odin's has Terran, who is the best player in my opinion in the game right now. They've also got good, like they're like secondary players are also all good. Like they don't really, no offense to any other team, but like I think everyone in their team is good. They don't have any like average players at all, because their team is going to be like BR, Coinbird, Quasar, Entsorger, probably like Crazy Igor. Like their whole team is just strong players. So I think Odin's is my most likely. I think we'll see a Wolfpack Odin's final. Those are the 2 best teams in my opinion.
That would be awesome.
We might see,
if we do.
unless there's like unless Hellz beats them, but I don't see. I don't know. Those seem like, I'd have to look at the rosters again, but those strike me as the 2 best teams. Gonna be Odin's and Wolfpack.
Yeah, I think I agree with you.
I actually think that if Terminus Shores like all the best players had played, we would have been able to put up a pretty good team.
Oh, for sure.
I mean, I didn't really like. I mean, I guess I could have played because the casting happens separately from the playing. But if we had all of the best Terminus Shores players, we would have had like me, Noid Hex, Gary, Nat Sky, I'm sure I'm forgetting
Gosh,
some
who
people
else?
here. But like, yeah, we would have had like at least we could have had like at least 4 or 5 really quite good players. If we all and Great Boy, we could have had Great Boy, of course. So yeah, we could have had like some very strong players if we put up the full team. But I think a lot of the competitive players are a little bit off it now. I know Natsky didn't want to play. I didn't really feel like playing. Noidex didn't want to play. So, you know.
Fair enough. Yeah. I mean, we got some pretty good team. Like, we got Kenny on the team. He's great. Well, Great Boy is playing for us, which is good too.
Yep.
And then, of course, there's myself. We got Ingalls. We got a few good players, but it's definitely not of the same caliber that, you know, you would expect from Terminus Shores. It's certainly a shadow of its former self, but that's just because Terminus Shores have been around for a long time. We were #1 forever, and we're happy to pass that off to somebody else now. I mean, we held that spot. We'll probably hold it the longest out of any alliance in the entire game, and you know what? That's a good enough accomplishment, I think.
We were ranked 1 for like from launch for like 2 years. I think Wolfpack is closing in now. Wolfpack has been ranked 1 for like 18 months, so they're pretty close, I think.
True.
To catching up, but yeah, I think we're still the longest holding. Let's take a look at these teams quickly. So Odin's, I forgot like Watashang, A99, Tommy, Oscar Delta.
Yes.
These are all good players. There's literally no bad players in the Odin's Misfit team. Or not even like bad is the wrong word. There's no one who's even like average. Like, everyone in the Odin's Misfit team is just a good player. Like, actually just outright a good player. So, yeah, I think Odin's team is extremely strong. Let's see what else we've got here. So, who's in USA Strong? USA Strong's got Roboto. He's good. God of Blood's pretty good. I don't really recognize any of the other names that much. So, you know, they've got a couple of big names. Braydob is in really, why is Braydob in Elite Army? He's a Wolfpack player, I thought. Anyway, let's have a look who else we got. Bazooka Alliance. Bazooka's got Conrad. Conrad's very good. Mister's pretty good. I think if 1 is the guy I think it is, he's decent. Let's have a look who else we got here. What other big team names are there? We don't need to look at Wolfpack roster for sure. See how good they
Victor
are.
Badsimer's playing for them. They got Bulldog. Bamble's pretty good. They got Serpus, like you said. Pathlogon. Swess is pretty good too. That's a pretty solid team right there.
Red Alert Turkey has some good players, but like they're all solid. None of them are like amazing. So I think they're going to struggle against the really all-star teams. Hellz Ascendance is Alicia, Mavlet, Sebi. Yeah, Hellz Ascendance is decent, but I don't think they're going to cut it against the really stacked teams. T2D Tryhards, got Holzinator. Adrian, Maniac. There's a few good names there. All Stars has Klotzy, Killer. All Stars is a lot of names I recognize. And they have Huck. Interesting. Huck's very good.
Ooh, he is, yeah.
Yeah, the T2D All Stars team looks pretty strong. Wow, T2D has so many fucking teams, man. They got like 4 teams.
Yeah, they bring
the All Stars team looks pretty strong. I do still think compared to the Ultra Stack teams, they're gonna really struggle, but it's a pretty strong team. It's not a bad one at all.
Red Alert Turkey, you were saying, they look pretty good. Got like Sabalot,
look at the Dutch team as well. Fun
the Dutchies
in
are good.
Nederland.
Yeah.
Where's Maximus?
He's on the other team.
He's in Dutchies. He's in Dutchies. Yeah, I see. They've got a decent. Wait, why is Boltfire the team captain of both teams?
Well, so you can be the captain of more. Like if you have two teams from the same alliance, you can captain the other team. You can only play on one. So.
Okay. Well, the Dutchies are decent. Dennis, Maximus, Stevie, that's all pretty good.
Yep. Yeah, they're
Fun
pretty
in
solid
Nederland
team.
is also reasonable players, but again, just not going to cut it against the really stacked teams.
Yeah, I agree.
Where is Wolfpack? Where's Wolfpack? I want to see a best team ever. Best team ever appears to be all the good Russian players. Like from RU Army.
Oh, yeah.
They're not gonna cut it against the stack teams again though. Let's have a look at. So what is Spec Ops Wolf team? Is this like the secondary team?
I think it is.
Yes. Good. Robsky's good. Big Snake's pretty decent. Hitch is decent.
Jim
Ramen's decent. There's a lot of decent players in that team. Oh, that's the wrong thing. The thing is, it's like a lot of solid players, but I don't think there's no like insane players in that team. They haven't got like a superstar player.
Right.
Let's have a look at. Okay, so regular Wolfpack is Serpus, Paffy G, Lord Stark, Victor, Swears, Bamble, Bull. Yeah, this is a good fucking team.
Yeah, right.
This is a very stacked team.
Yeah, they're gonna do well for sure. No, I think you're right. I think Odin's Misfits and Wolfpack. I mean, Hell's Ascendance maybe has a chance, and the Duchies. I think the Duchies are another solid team to watch out for. So between those four, it seems like those are probably the four top teams in this tournament. And then there's like a group of teams that have like a solid core of decent players, just like you said, no real heavy hitters, but yeah, I mean, there's a lot of good talent overall. And you know what? The other cool thing about this tournament in general is just how many people are playing in it. We got over 200 people signed up. That's amazing. Yeah. Really cool stuff.
And the prize pool is not bad now as well. Like Braydob, big shout out to Braydob, by the way. Braydob donated like $500 to this prize pool. So basically the entire, like Braydob is most of the prize pool. So massive thank you to Braydob. So yeah, we've got a lot of players, decent prize pool. It's going to be good. I think having looked at all the rosters, Odin's is my my pick. I think Odin's is going to win this for sure. Well, maybe not for sure. Like Wolfpack is strong, Hellz Ascendance is strong, but I think Odin's is no one there. Everyone there's just good. Everyone there's just a really good player.
Yep.
So yeah.
Yeah. For sure.
That's my pick for overall winner. All right, I think that's all there is to be said. Thank you so much, Jeffrey. And of course, if you guys are interested, we're going to do another one of these either next week or the week after. It might be Insorga might do next week, or we might both do one next week because this was pretty fun. So I might do this again.
I think he's off actually as of the 14th, so I think he's not available, but we'll confirm that. Yeah.
Okay. Well, if there's replays for next week, I'm happy to do it. If you're happy to join me, Jeffrey.
Of course, always.
And then I'm on holiday the week after that. So yeah, next week I think we will. Next week I think we could see us doing it again. I'll let you know if we're gonna do it.
Sounds
great.
Right,
so thank you everyone. And of course, if you want to check out more Alliance Wars, Ensorga, his YouTube should also have the Alliance Wars that he's been casting. I believe you were co-casting with him, Jeffrey.
That's right. Yep.
Yeah. So if you want to check that out, you can check out Ensorga's YouTube as well. All right. Thank you everyone, and I will see you all next time.
See you everybody.